The forest was silent, too silent. The night was calm until the snow seemed to swallow the woods whole. Staff Sergeant Elena Marquez was finishing her patrol half a mile from base when a strange sound cut through the stillness. A sharp, choked bark followed by a human groan. Her blood ran cold. That wasn't an animal. That was someone dying. She followed the sound, heart pounding, her flashlight slicing through the darkness until she reached a clearing and froze. Her instincts snapped awake. Someone was in trouble. A police officer lay sprawled in the snow, his face bloodied, his eyes barely open. Beside him, protecting him with the last of his strength, was his K9 partner, a German shepherd with one leg twisted, chest rising and shallow. Painful breaths. The dog was trembling, struggling to breathe, yet still trying to shield his handler. Elena dropped to her knees. "Officer, can you hear me?" The man lifted his hand shakily, pointing toward the trees. "They knew I found it," he gasped. "Don't let them finish the job." His breathing grew ragged. "Don't call for help," he whispered. "They're still out here." Then, barely audible, he added, "Don't let them find us." And in that moment, Elena realized something chilling. This wasn't an accident. This was a targeted attack, tied to a secret the FBI had been hunting for months. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. Snowflakes drifted through the beam of her headlamp as Staff Sergeant Elena Marquez pushed deeper into the forest, her boots crunching through layers of untouched ice. The world around her was silent, too silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. This perimeter sweep was supposed to be routine, a simple check of the training zone before the next morning's exercise. But Elena's instincts, honed through years of combat tours, kept whispering that something was off tonight. She paused, adjusting the strap on her vest, listening. Nothing, just the lonely rustle of trees bowing under the weight of winter. She exhaled softly, her breath curling into the frozen air. Routine or not, she preferred the solitude. It kept her mind from wandering back to that one rescue mission, the one she hadn't been able to complete, the one she still dreamed about. Elena moved forward, her hand resting lightly near her weapon out of habit. Then she heard it. Faint, weak, a sound that didn't belong to the woods. Was that a cry? She froze, turning her head slowly. There it was again, a trembling whimper, followed by a low, pained growl. A dog's growl, not defensive, desperate. Elena's heartbeat quickened. Someone, or something, was suffering out there in the dark. And despite every protocol telling her to stay en route, her feet were already moving toward the sound, because Marines don't ignore calls for help. Not ever. Elena pushed through a thicket of frost-covered branches, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. The cries grew louder, painful, uneven, fading. She swept her flashlight across the snow, and the beam suddenly stopped on a dark shape lying motionless near the tree line. She rushed forward, then gasped. A police officer lay sprawled on his back, his uniform torn, his face streaked with blood. His breathing was shallow, barely there, fogging weakly in the icy air, and beside him, a German shepherd. The dog was trembling violently, one paw twisted at an unnatural angle. But the moment Elena stepped closer, he forced himself up, teeth bared, positioning his body protectively over the officer. "Easy," Elena whispered, lowering herself to the snow. "I'm here to help him. I'm not a threat." The dog's growl wavered, pain mixing with loyalty, before he finally collapsed beside his handler. Too exhausted to stand guard any longer, Elena pressed 2 fingers to the officer's neck. A faint pulse. Weak, but alive, his eyelids fluttered. Who are you?" He breathed. "Staff Sergeant Elena Marquez," she said. "You're safe now." But his eyes widened with sudden fear. His hand gripped her sleeve weakly. "No, not safe," he rasped. "Don't call anyone yet. They're still out here." A chill far colder than the snow ran down her spine. The forest around them suddenly felt sharper, darker, heavier, as if the trees themselves were listening. Elena glanced over her shoulder, scanning the shadows. Nothing moved, but the officer's trembling grip on her sleeve told her enough. Whatever had attacked him wasn't gone. "Officer, stay with me," she whispered, shifting her flashlight toward the northeast ridge. "Tell me what happened." His breaths came ragged, frosty air puffing and fading like dying embers. "Ambush, not random," he forced out. I found something. Something I wasn't supposed to." Thor, the injured K9, let out a soft whine, ears twitching toward a cluster of trees. Elena followed his gaze. The dog's instincts were stronger than any instrument. If he sensed something, she needed to listen. A faint crunch echoed beyond the darkness. Then another. Slow. Careful. Someone was moving toward them. Elena's hand settled on her weapon. The officer coughed, blood on his lips. Don't trust badges," he whispered. "Some of them are part of it." That sent a cold spike through her chest. Rogue officers? Corrupt agents? She didn't know, but she knew one thing. Danger was closing in fast. Another branch snapped. The sound was closer now. Elena positioned herself protectively between the officer and the approaching footsteps. Her breath steadied, muscles tightening. If the attackers wanted to finish the job, they were going to have to get through a Marine first. Elena tightened her grip beneath Officer Hale's shoulders, lifting him inch by inch. He groaned in pain, but she whispered, "Stay awake. I've got you." Thor tried to rise too, but his injured paw buckled beneath him. Still, he limped forward, refusing to leave his handler's side. Elena pushed through the snow, her muscles burning under Hale's weight. Behind them, flashlights flickered through the trees, searching, sweeping, closing in. Voices carried on the wind, low and urgent. "They're tracking us." Hale whispered. "They won't stop." "Then we stay ahead of them," Elena replied, shifting direction. Thor suddenly growled, then limped toward a narrow gap between two fallen trees, sniffing desperately. Elena followed the dog's lead, trusting his instinct more than any map. The gap opened into a hidden deer path, mostly covered by snow but still navigable. "Good boy. Keep going," Elena urged. The path wound downward, curving behind a ridge that shielded them from the attacker's line of sight. Thor pushed forward, ignoring the blood dripping from his paw. Elena kept Hale steady, her breath sharp and heavy. After several grueling minutes, Thor stopped and barked weakly at an old wooden structure barely visible through the trees, an abandoned ranger cabin, shelter. Concealment. A chance. Elena kicked the door open with her boot, guided Hale inside, and lowered him onto an old cot. Thor collapsed beside him, his breathing shallow but determined. Outside, the footsteps grew louder. Time was running out, but for now, they had a fighting chance. Elena pressed her thumb against a hidden emergency beacon embedded in her vest, a classified line used only for federal-level danger. The signal transmitted silently through encrypted channels. If anyone could reach them in time, it was the FBI's rapid response team. Minutes later, the distant thrum of helicopter blades broke through the storm. Elena exhaled in relief, but Officer Hale suddenly tensed, grabbing her wrist with surprising strength. "Careful," he rasped. "Not all of them are clean." The helicopter descended, kicking up a cyclone of snow. 3 FBI agents rushed inside the cabin, weapons lowered, faces grim. The lead agent stepped forward. "We'll take the officer," he said briskly. "We have orders to move him immediately." Thor, lying weakly beside Hale, suddenly let out a deep, guttural growl. His fur bristled as he stared at one agent in particular, a tall man lingering near the doorway. Elena followed Thor's gaze. The glint avoided her eyes. Hale gasped, his voice barely a whisper. "That one. He's one of them." Elena's hand moved instantly to her weapon. The atmosphere snapped tight, pure electricity. The agent's hand drifted subtly toward his holster. Elena stepped between him and Hale. "Nobody moves," she warned. For a moment, the entire cabin held its breath, and then the truth began to unravel. The cabin erupted in controlled chaos. 2 FBI agents tackled the rogue officer the moment he reached for his weapon, pinning him against the wall as he shouted threats no one listened to. Elena secured his gun while Thor snarled weakly, forcing the traitor's eyes downward in fear. Minutes later, backup arrived. This time, agents Elena actually recognized. The rogue officer was dragged out into the snow, cursing the entire way. Hale's breathing steadied as medics lifted him carefully onto a stretcher. Thor whimpered, trying to stand, but Elena gently held him still. "Easy, boy. You did more than enough." Hours passed before Elena finally saw Hale again, this time in a hospital recovery room. Tubes and monitors surrounded him, but he was alive. Thor lay bandaged on the floor beside the bed, his tail wagging softly when Elena entered. Hale managed a faint smile. "We got them," he said. "All of them. The FBI followed the trail, and the evidence I hid." Then he nodded toward Thor. "And the secret they wanted buried? It was in his vest. Microdata. Encrypted." Elena knelt, resting her hand on Thor's head. "You saved this entire case," she whispered. Hale swallowed hard. "No, you saved us." Thor let out a soft, proud breath, as if sealing the truth of that night forever.